1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
There's no place that's softer than living today is just getting so bad. There's a look on your face and it says you've been had. Take all my money but don't make me mad, 'cause there's nobody meaner than
The Ballad of Jim Jones. Oh, God. Who is that? Who is that? That is the Brian Jonestown Massacre. Brian Jonestown Massacre band from the 90s. Oh, man. Love those guys. Right in there with the Dandy Warhols. You remember that clique? Dandy Warhols. And all of those bands inspire the White Stripes to come out. Though the White Stripes will never admit it, but the Brian Jonestown Massacre, who basically, if you watch the movie Dig, you come to realize that they were just a pack of junkies on the road, and couldn't hold it together, and never really. They were kind of like the Ramones. They never really made their mark, although they were kind of huge underground, but they never made it to the mainstream. So anyway, but brilliant music. I mean, they left behind the music, it's really what it's all about, right? It's the music. So let's take a look. So I'm going to talk about some recession news. Are you ready for the next recession? How much money do you have? What do you do? What is your means of income? And how are you going to sustain the next blow, the next economic downturn? Also, McDonald's taking a bold step. Bold fucking McDonald's gets a round of applause. McDonald's is introducing Beyond Meat in their restaurants. Now, Burger King has an Impossible Whopper. Beyond Meat is now making ways into McDonald's. Oh, God, the cows are loving this. Cows are loving this, right? Maybe we'll have a vegan planet in 50 years. Who knows? It's good for the cows, it's good for the animals. And we'll talk about the top story is the whistleblower nonsense, the CIA and leaking this crap bullshit about Trump going beyond, above and beyond the simple conversation he had with the Czech guy. Fucking, what's his name? When we get to it, I'll tell you about it. The president. So let's see what we got here, man. So let's talk about McDonald's. So quickly, McDonald's to test Beyond Meat Burger as stocks soar. It did. It was up 15% yesterday. McDonald's is going above and beyond with its new burger. The fast food giant has partnered with Beyond Meat, that's publicly traded, BYND, to create a sandwich dubbed the PLT, made with plant-based beef, lettuce, and tomato. The new menu item will be tested at 28 locations in Ontario, Canada. Too bad. I'd buy it right here. Come to New York. So they're giving it a test run. It'll work, just like the Impossible Burger worked at Burger King. They started in, I believe, St. Louis, Missouri, and they put it in a couple of restaurants, and it took off. And now I can get it down the block right here in Brooklyn. After the announcement was published on the McDonald's website, the vegan company's food company spiked 15%. It did. Watch that. McDonald's has a proud legacy of fun, delicious, and craveable food, and now we're extending that to test a juicy plant-based burger. We've been working on our recipe, and now we're ready to hear back from our customers. It's a good move, man. It's a really good move. Thank you, McDonald's. I would suspect, don't get too excited about Beyond Meat as being the savior, because what usually happens, a company like McDonald's will take Beyond Meat's idea. They'll take that burger, they'll dissect it, they'll use it for a little while to see if it works, and then they'll create their own. They'll create their own burger and cut, Beyond Meat out of the equation, depending on what kind of contract Beyond Meat has with McDonald's. But ultimately, it's a good thing. Either way, that's the business side of it. But the humane side of it is go try a goddamn vegan burger. You can't tell the difference, right? But the cows can tell the difference. The animals can tell the goddamn difference. So, shocking new survey finds most Americans are completely unprepared for next recession. Shocking? New? It's not new and it's not shocking, Zero Hedge. I love you guys to death, but it's not new and it's not shocking. It's already evidenced in the record. Just like 2008, most Americans are living right on the edge financially. And so any sort of economic downturn is going to be extremely painful for tens of millions of American families. When you have not built up a financial cushion, any sort of setback can be absolutely disastrous. During the last recession, millions of Americans suddenly lost their jobs, and because most of them were living paycheck to paycheck, a lot of them suddenly couldn't pay their mortgages. In the end, millions of Americans lost their homes during the subprime mortgage meltdown. And today, the housing bubble is even larger than it was back then. Suddenly, the reality of the matter is that many of us are just barely scraping by from month to month. And that is a very dangerous position to be in. Now, that's the fact. 60% of Americans, probably more, are living paycheck to paycheck if you have a job. Right? That doesn't account for, what about the welfare people? What about the old people living on Social Security? Most of the country is scraping by. God damn it. There's 1%, no, but there's 1-2% of the country. Oh, man, they're living large. Just look at the TV set. They own 3 homes, 10 homes, 20 homes, a Lear jet. They're deciding whose plane they're going to take on vacation. They're going to take my plane or your plane? Whose plane you want to take? Let's take our plane. Take my plane? No, I got it. I got this one. Take my plane. I will take my plane, and we'll take your plane next time. That's the kind of conversations these fuckers are having. So a new survey shows just how vulnerable American consumers have become at this point. According to the new survey, the top financial priority for 38% of Americans is just trying to pay the bills, and for 19% of all Americans is dealing with credit card debt. That's actually not. Here's the more accurate number. So that means for nearly 60% of Americans, the top financial priority each month is either finding a way to pay the bills or dealing with credit card debt. Wow, we're living large, right? We're first world country, right? First world country, and fuck you if you don't like it, leave. You don't like it, leave. Oh, fuck you, you leave. I'm going to stay and fix it. I'm going to stay and fix the problem. Tenacity, jerk off. Among survey respondents in the national representative poll, 38% said their top financial priority is just staying current on living expenses or getting caught up on all their bills. This is not the way Americans should be living, right? People are starving. They're living they're debt slaves. They're paycheck to paycheck slaves. Can't take a goddamn vacation. What are we going to do about it? Just keep the same. No. The economy has never been so good. For who? So let's talk about this bullshit one more time, right? So the allegation for Ukraine, that's what I was trying to say before, Ukraine. I fucking just had a mental block. So the other thing, this is Trump asking the Ukraine president in a conversation, read it one more time, and then we'll get to the whistleblower statement, which is total bullshit. The other thing, there's a lot of talk about Biden's son, that Biden stopped this prosecution, and a lot of people want to find out about that. So whatever you can do with the attorney general would be great. Biden went around bragging that he stopped the prosecution. So if you can look into that, it sounds horrible to me. That's what Trump said in the conversation. Not the smartest thing to say, but he said it nonetheless, and he unclassified it. Now the Democrats are running with impeachment. They want to impeach. You got this idiot, Adam Schiff. Trump is calling for his resignation. Schiff is in Congress lying, according to Trump. I don't know. The tweet, for some reason, the tweet is down. I can't see the tweet. But what Trump said, that Adam Schiff fraudulently reads to Congress with millions of people watching a version of my conversation with President of Ukraine that doesn't exist. The president said in a tweet. I don't know. The tweet's not there. He was supposedly reading the exact transcript version of the call, but he completely changed the words to make it sound horrible. So the Democrats are running round the clock. Pelosi, Schumer, Schiff. Now you'll have Nadler, the guy who can't stand on his own 2 feet without passing out. You'll have that guy come out. You'll have Elizabeth Warren. You'll have all the fucking Democrats. Now the next debate will be about impeaching Trump. The next presidential election will about. It's just such bullshit. Right? So there's more to the story now. Well, let's add the a letter to William Barr and a letter to Adam Schiff. Apparently, this is a whistleblower. There's no name on the letter, and it was leaked yesterday that it's a CIA spook, a CIA guy. It's fucking CIA. It's a game. God damn it! It's a fucking game. Frame the president. That's what it is, right? Frame the president, take power back and give it back to the spooks and give back to the corrupt Democrats, the oligarchy. That's the idea, right? Not that they don't have enough power already, but they want more power. They want exclusive power. They want absolute power. So what do? Smear the president, put out a bogus whistleblower bullshit. I am writing an urgent concern in accordance with the procedures. This letter is unclassified when separated from the attachment. Right? So it goes on and on to say that all this stuff was being observed. Now, Trump in the letter says he's sending Barr and Rudy Giuliani to observe the situation, to investigate the situation of what happened in the Ukraine with Joe Biden and his son, and what was going on with CrowdStrike and the alleged server that could have fucking landed in the Ukraine. Right? That's what he's investigating, right? And he says it in the letter, and he says he's dispatching Giuliani and opening the door for Barr to receive information. That's what he said in the letter. So now a whistleblower letter comes out saying that, oh no, there was so much more. There was so much more. You wait till you see what else what was going on, right? So I'm not going to read it all, and because it's really irrelevant. What it says essentially is the person that is writing this whistleblower letter was not a witness to any of it. Was not an eyewitness, but merely a second or third party observant, and put the pieces together and came to the conclusion, the conspiracy theory that Trump was colluding with a foreign nation to overthrow the election. Now, again, if we want to talk about election fraud, how dare the fucking Democrats cry election fraud, election meddling? They've admitted, the DNC has admitted, need I say it again, has admitted in open court in Florida in the DNC fraud lawsuit that their primaries are rigged, that they pick the candidate. Right? They shut down election polls. They shut down polling stations. They cancel exit polling, where the exit polls are 15% off. They say, oh, no, we're going to cancel those polls. Overt cheating. And now how dare the Democrats say that the President of the United States is meddling in foreign affairs because he's pursuing corruption. And now we got a whistleblower. Oh, we got him. We got a whistleblower. He's blowing the whistle. What's his name? I don't know. Where's he from? Oh, yeah, CIA. I don't know. You saw this? Did he see it? No, I didn't see it. It's total bullshit, man. It's just another nail in the coffin for the fucking Democrats. They can't stick with the policy. So throw the election away, right? You want Trump? All right. You'd rather lose to Trump, all right? We know. You'd rather lose to Trump than win with Bernie Sanders. Elizabeth Warren's not going to make it through the hoop. Joe Biden is floundering because you're making him flounder. Now it's pretty much a dead deal Because every time you say Joe Biden, Trump is going to say Joe Biden's son and corruption, right? Every time you say impeachment, Trump's going to say corruption. He's going to say Hillary Clinton's 30,000 emails. He's going to say Russiagate, fake news. That's what you gave him. With that policy, 100% guarantee Trump will be the next president of the United States. If you shut down Bernie Sanders and you don't run on policy, I just read you the recession. You saw it. 60% of the country is living paycheck to paycheck. Give them a break. Give those people a break. That's who needs the break, not some bullshit about the Ukraine, not some bullshit about some whistleblower. Nobody cares about it. They only care because that's what the mainstream media is pumping them with. Right? It's a stupid story. It's a bullshit story. Another bullshit story right up there with Russiagate. But that's the choice of people. Oh, I gotta get Trump. We gotta get Trump. Yeah, but what if you get rid of Trump? What if you get him and get rid of him? What do you get? You get a corrupt Democratic Party that's just as corrupt as the party that you have. Don't you see? Don't you see that it is, look, and other people will say, oh, you get too worked up about politics. You're so concerned, Conte, about the politics. No, it's important because it is the state of our affairs. Can it be a better thing? Yes. Can it be a system that works for the people? Of course it can. Has it worked in the past? Of course it can. 535. You've got 100 senators, 435 Congress, one president, executive branch, judicial branch, legislative branch. If you don't believe in the separation of powers and the Constitution of the United States of America, maybe you should fucking leave. Maybe you should shut your fucking hole and pay attention, because that's really what we're talking about here. We're talking about politicians that have hijacked our system. And if you want to turn around and say it's all theater and it's all bullshit and there's nothing you can do about it, well, then fuck you, because you're the problem. If you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. As Ralph Nader once said, right? the great guy who gave us the seatbelt law and almost became the president of the United States, but was cheated, ran for president. All right, so if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. If you can't take care of business, get off the bowl, right? So Marcus Conte reporting on this wonderful day right here, this wonderful fall day in New York, man. Totally loving life right now, just loving life. Let's listen to this.